The truth about the absence of humans on the lunar surface hides a survival strategy that is as precise as it is dangerous. What separates historical success from eternal disaster is absolute control over the unpredictable. Orbit, the satellite without immediately landing, is the centerpiece of a technical and strategic puzzle. For 10 days, the Orion capsule faced thermal extremes where one side boils under the scorching sun while the other plunges into the absolute zero of deep space. Managing this thermal stability is what validates safety for the future, proving that we are capable of keeping humans alive in conditions that defy biological logic. The free return, using lunar gravity to launch the spacecraft back to Earth, is not just an orbital maneuver, but the ultimate life insurance for Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. We are witnessing the birth of an exploration model that prioritizes building sustainable infrastructure instead of planting flags on short-term missions. The urgency we feel today is, in fact, the rush to establish the foundations of a presence that never again needs to be interrupted by decades of silence. Everything we learned from the complexity of Orion and the brute force of the SLS leads us to the ultimate reconciliation between the past and the future. The current trajectory is a panoramic view of where we have been and where we are going. By revisiting the context of the Apollo missions, we realize that the contradiction between the expensive technology of the SLS and the efficiency of commercial rockets is resolved by a conciliatory factor: the need for a robust state system to guarantee the basic infrastructure of a new world. The path ahead, although uncertain and financially demanding, is the only one that allows us to transform the moon into a real outpost. The technology validated today is the foundation for the lunar gateway and for future permanent bases, where international cooperation will replace isolated competition. We are closing the waiting cycle to open an intergalactic gateway that will take humanity to Mars and beyond, using our satellite as the ultimate laboratory of resilience and technological innovation. The intelligence behind Artemis 2's flight plan reveals why calculated risk is our greatest achievement. Many question whether the crew would be trapped in perpetual orbit if the main engine failed after the translunar injection burn. The answer lies in the ingenuity of the orbital mechanics chosen for this 10-day journey. The trajectory design ensures that, even without additional propulsion, the physics of the Earth-Moon system will bring the astronauts back home. This technical success in managing extremes and potential failures is what allows the management of the unpredictable, transforming what seems like a compromise into an absolute victory of modern engineering over the hostile vacuum. But while we celebrate the precision of the calculations and the roar of the RS-25 engines, the silence that precedes the final touch on the ocean carries a weight that no sensor can measure. There is a moment of emotional transition where the coldness of numbers gives way to the grandeur of human achievement. The return to Earth is not merely a physical re-entry through a heat shield reaching thousands of degrees. It is the return of a part of ourselves that was dormant. The billion-dollar investment and the controversies surrounding the rocket's design fade before the image of Earth rising above the lunar horizon. It is the clash between economic reality and the transcendental aspiration of a species that refuses to be confined to just one planet. Every piece of data collected and every breath taken by the crew in deep space serves to answer the question we all keep secret. The final explanation of this connection between hardware and the dream reveals that we are not just testing a spacecraft, we are testing our own resilience. Validating the life support system and Orion's resistance to solar radiation bombardment is what paves the way for the safe landing of Artemis 3. Without this intermediate step, the risk of a descent to the surface would be a significant leap into the abyss. We are building the necessary confidence so that when the next human touches the lunar surface, it will not be for a visit of a few days, but for permanent occupation. The last gap in our understanding of the future of space exploration is about to be filled, revealing what truly awaits us on the hidden side of history. The silence preceding the final revelation is the boundary between what we know and what the universe is about to show us. There is a final word that reconciles all the paradoxes of this mission, a piece of information that unites Boeing's hardware with the hopes of billions of people. Prepare for the closing of the loop we opened at the beginning of this journey, because the ultimate reason we are up there goes far beyond what any space agency has dared to officially declare until this moment. The final word on Artemis 2 is the resolution of all the technical paradoxes we've discussed so far. The answer to the common question of why we don't land now is the key to our destiny. We don't land now to ensure that when we do, it's to stay permanently. The success of this mission proves that a safe learning journey is the only sustainable path. The successful return of this crew will mark the day the impossible became routine, closing the cycle of suspense that began more than half a century ago. The union of the Orion capsule, the SLS rocket, and the courage of 4 explorers is proof that humanity has recovered its interplanetary ambition. If you felt the impact of this new era, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the never-before-seen images that will change our history. Comment if you would have the courage to face 10 days in a vacuum to see the far side of the moon. Your participation is what keeps the flame of exploration and scientific curiosity alive in our community. By sharing your perspective on the risks and achievements of Artemis II, you become part of the new generation that not only witnesses the future, but understands it in all its technical and human nuances. The splashdown in the Pacific brings this phase to a close, but the cultural impact of Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy's discoveries will be timeless. We are witnessing the birth of a new intergalactic era, where the moon is just the first step on a ladder that will take us to the stars. The technology validated today is the passport to Mars, transforming science fiction into a tangible reality before our eyes. The return home is only the beginning of a much greater journey that will take us where we never imagined we could go. The lights on the lunar horizon and the shadows in the control center suggest that what comes next may be the contact that will change our definition of life. As the crew prepares for re-entry, new data begins to emerge, indicating that what they saw on the other side may not have been just rock and dust. The investigation into the presences detected on the satellite continues, and the secrets that NASA still keeps guarded are about to come to light. Stay tuned, as the next chapter of this odyssey will reveal truths that will challenge your perception of who really commands deep space.